Hello and welcome to Give Pod Locals podcast, where we ask, what now that the World Cup is over? Do we go back to hating each other, or can we all just continue to hate Argentina?
Welcome to Give Pod Local. It's impossible to not crack up.
I know, like,
Whenever you read that. I'm like trying to not listen so I won't laugh.
No, it's okay to laugh, Joey.
Okay.
It's okay to laugh. Okay. Hi, my name is Jalon, and I keep up with the news for you.
And I'm Joey, and I keep up with the policy for you.
Today, we're going to talk about the North American wildfires because it's not just a Canadian issue. We're also going to chat with Judge Maggie Ellis, who is running for the Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court. And we did not know this until we talked to her. No woman has ever been the Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court. So a couple episodes ago, I asked you a question that you had to answer. It was going to give a wild answer, and then there was no context given afterwards. Just to kind of something that will help us kind of center ourselves because shit's crazy out there. So just like a little palate cleanser.
We've got a lot going on, and when we sit down here, that gets us present in the moment.
Yeah. Okay,
I like
so
that.
here's my out of context question for you this week, for this episode, excuse me. Let's say aliens came down to Earth and they said, "What are y'all?" And we're not speaking the same language. We have no real way to communicate, but they understand music. So if you had to explain who or what humanity was to an alien, what album would you pick?
Oh my gosh. That is not possible. I mean,
Yes.
not one album. Are you kidding me? What?
But think of it like every other person gets to pick another album. So it won't just be yours that represents all of humanity.
Okay, I just get to pick one album.
Yeah.
Well, damn it. I don't know which album it would be, but it would be including Louis Armstrong. It would be something with Louis Armstrong. I've been watching the jazz documentary because, as Jalon knows, I watch a lot of documentaries. I'm watching the jazz one again, and Louis Armstrong is like a magical human that is beyond normal humanity, you know?
Yeah. I think that would give a nice representation of humanity. If something was coming here, like, I don't know what the hell y'all are, you'd be like, listen to this.
Like a greatest hits, because if you listen to his music from the beginning of it all the way through, like it was a whole different, like he changed so much. And anyway, he changed music, you know?
Yeah, I agree. If I had to choose, and it's not my favorite album of this artist, but I think it would give a great painting of what or who humanity and what humanity is. It's going to be Stevie Wonder. And again, it's not my favorite album of his, but it's an amazing album, which would be Songs That Keep Life.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah. When you said him, I'm like, oh, well, we need that album.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
cool.
a good point. It's a seminal work of humanity for sure.
For sure. Okay. So we're going to talk about something that's happening in the news right now, and it is the North American wildfires. But also, they're having wildfires in Europe too. Like Spain had some wildfires. I don't know where that has spread. Forgive me for not knowing that. But we kind of have a little issue happening over here. When I last looked, there were like 888 fires in all of Canada. And right now in Ontario alone, there are 200 fires happening. And like 1,800 people have already evacuated. I'm reading here that fires have now burned across 735,000 acres of the province of Ontario. And that was up from 650,000. And the PM of Ontario said that it's moving very quickly. This is a thing that happens all the time, but it has never, in my recent history, been this big. Like, it's bad. That it's coming across the border and it's harming the air in Michigan and New York, New Jersey, and other parts that are connected to Canada. The other frustrating thing about this, other than like, it feels like Canada is dealing with this on their own, is our president, his first instinct is, I'm going to raise tariffs because they're ruining our air. When we had those Palisade fires in California, the Mexican government and the Canadian government came down and helped us.
Yes.
And I don't know why that's our first reaction. And it's not ours. I don't know why that's his first reaction is, oh, this is a way for me to make money.
Well, I was just going to say, but you are projecting onto him an idea that he has feelings
And empathy.
That's not, yeah, that's.
I know. I know. But it's not just affecting Canadian forestry, the air quality that combines both Canada and the US.
I mean, Chicago. It looks like Chicago's air is not breathable. Like, I don't know how you could be outside.
I know. But it's also ruining tribal lands. And there's some tribes in Canada saying like they did not get a heads up.
Yep.
And it just completely obliterated one nation, I'm saying for sure. And then obviously there's conversations about how did this happen. And so right now Ontario is being accused of lowballing their wildfire budget, which, it's a conservative PM in Ontario right now. I don't know if you know the PM of Ontario. His last name is Ford. Not to be confused with his brother who passed
his
away.
brother was the scary one.
Yeah, but birds of a feather. So yeah, I mean, we're keeping our eye on it. We're hoping that everybody survives this and that together, all of us can kind of tamper this down so it doesn't spread. Because that's the thing. Fires don't give a shit about borders. So if your instinct is to tear another country, also,
I mean, this goes back to like the pandemic, right? Where he was like, who cares? It'll be fine. We'll just let it come here. And it's like, no, dumbass. Letting it expand here means it's going to expand everywhere. Do you not understand? Like, this is a whole ripple effect, man.
Girl, I am so embarrassed. I don't want to apologize for him, but I hope that the generosity and the kindness of most Americans is something that the rest of the world will be able to experience, because that dude we're not with him. We're not
we are not with him. No, he does not represent us.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. And if, if I had helicopters with water cannons, I would definitely be up there trying to help. Here's hoping that nobody gets harmed. Here's hoping that the number of wildlife does not get too affected. This is a big thing. It's a big deal, and I'm worried.
Yeah, because it's still early in the season, so
that's the shortest news one we've done. I'm proud of us.
Do you want to talk about the end of the World Cup since you've covered it so much?
By the time this comes out, you know what I mean?
No, I know that's true. It's
but what I do want to do, oh shit. I was going to do like a little skit where I came in with like sunglasses on. And you're like, are you okay? Like, no, I'm going through World Cup depression.
Lots of World Cup withdrawals. World Cup withdrawals.
We can talk about it just real quick. So last night was the World Cup. I was shocked when you slacked me saying that you were watching Trevor Noah at the World Cup live stream. And I was like, what is she doing?
Yeah, I was doing dishes like usual, something around the house. And I was like, open my YouTube. And the first thing it showed me, because I keep going to Trevor's, so immediately showed me Trevor was live. And I was like, oh my God, he's at the game live? What?
What's going on, chat? Stream the game live. So that's where we are, chat. There we go, chat.
So I had to click in, and then I couldn't look away because they're just like, hey chat, hey chat, hey chat. And it was just too fun. I couldn't look away. I love these guys. They're so great.
When Ed Sheeran popped in.
I know, right? He's like,
yeah, that is who you think it is. It's the one and only Ed Sheeran, yo.
You're going for Argentina, right?
Like, what are we doing here? I was like,
that was cool.
Top 10, like maybe top 5 World Cups of my lifetime. I started watching in 2006 when Italy won last, I believe. Yeah, 2006. The expansion of the brackets, which allowed other countries to be a part of it. Trevor and what his crew was doing.
Yeah, what they did was great.
Yeah, but then there was always like The Rest is Football, which is a UK show, was on Netflix. It was just there was a lot more content that went along with it beyond what the US broadcaster, which is Fox Sports, was doing, right? So I didn't have to go there. But also, I've been watching the World Cup on Telemundo since, full time since 2022. So when I found it on Peacock in 2022, and I was like, oh, I don't have to watch it on Fox? Yeah. Oh, okay. This is great. But just the amount of Americans and English speakers that migrated over was,
that was great.
So much fun. And not my team won, but not my team won.
No, I know. In the end, it was a relief, really, because we were just kind of anyone but Argentina. And so that's how we ended up.
Undefeated, rooting for everybody black.
Yeah.
Undefeated. And you should not have got me started on this, but I will wrap this up so this does not become a whole thing. But at a certain point in these World Cups, we all decided who the villains were. And and it wasn't just like, oh, they win everything type stuff. It was historical football. Like,
I
this
saw
is what
so
they
many
did.
pieces about it. Like everyone just really
So
jumped on
many
board with
pieces.
this. Yeah.
And like everybody, like you talk about news, like little news, social media, companies and like like us, like everybody was talking about it. And they had a choice. They could either go, hey, we've heard the conversations. We're just here to play football. We wish
Good people. We love everyone.
You know, we play on other teams. So we play with Black people. Like, this is not us. And we're sad that this is the story that has followed us when this should be champions trying to go back to back. And like, you know, and then like our leader, our captain, this may be his last World Cup. That's not what they chose. They literally and figuratively chose violence up into the last minute when the final whistle was blown. There's a video where Yamal he's Muslim and he's on his knees and you see him praying to his God. Right behind him, that he's not even paying attention to because he's praying, is Argentina trying to start fights with other Spanish players. So you've got this 19, 20-year-old sitting there praying because they just won. And then in the background, you literally just see these people fighting. And it's like, they had a choice. They chose violence. And then they lost. And I want to thank the football gods, first of all and foremost, for this.
Yeah, true.
And the fact that everybody has been saying that football won, they're right. But I'd be so embarrassed if I was one, on the team, and two, a fan. I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be so embarrassed.
Did you see the meme that it was like, meet me at the World Cup? And it was like, first I was Mexico. And it's like like it was a Foursquare thingy. First I was Mexico. Then I was America. Then I was England. No, then I was Norway. Then I was England. And then I was anyone but Argentina.
I have not seen that, but that is my reality.
Yeah.
France was my team. I still love France. But I'm hoping for France to always get there. But I love Spain too.
Good. Well, then it worked out. And all right.
Hey, again, undefeated when I root for everybody Black.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I'm definitely going through a World Cup depression.
Ooh, I bet you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been so on it for 30 whatever days that like, yeah.
It's a month and a half of my life. Yeah, a month and a half almost of my life. I don't know how the broadcasters are doing. The people that...
No, for real, right?
Whew, child. But it's like, what am I going to do with all this free time? Real quick, just to circle back to the wildfires conversation, because something just came through on New York Times. You're not going to believe this.
No.
Yes, you are. No,
I'm
yes,
like,
you are.
what?
No, yes, you are. You're going to believe it. Trump to impose 50% tariff on many Canadian goods. The administration will use an untested legal provision to put significant duties on Canadian exports, reigniting a clash with one of America's biggest trading partners.
Hold up. Okay, you guys are having fires. That's really horrible. Let me just screw you more. What?
Yeah, they are saying. Oh, yeah. So U.S. officials said the tariff would be imposed on products ranging from wine to hockey sticks to cement and would go in effect in 30 days. The officials say the tariffs were punishment for Canadian discrimination in 3 industries: motor vehicles, dairy, and alcohol. The tariffs appear likely to reignite a trade clash with Canada, one of America's closest allies, and a second largest trading partner after Mexico. Canada has been in Trump's crosshairs since the government retaliated against tariffs that the president imposed on a wide range of products last year. Trump officials have repeatedly complained that Canadian provinces have halted purchase of U.S. alcohol. Yeah, that's what a boycott is. That's what a boycott is.
Yeah, that's what that is. I mean, but again, you're projecting someone who like has real thoughts and feelings and emotions.
I know. And it's crazy. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. It's crazy that he's doing all this shit after he just stood by the PM of Canada on the World Cup stage.
He probably doesn't remember that already. Okay, next up, Jalon and I sat down with Judge Maggie Ellis, currently running to be the first woman and first openly LGBTQ plus person to be the Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court.
Before we get started, what would you like us to call you? Because I just want to call you Your Honor and just keep saying that.
Maggie is great.
Okay. All right, Your Honor. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it so much. I'll let Joey get started because she's the precinct chair, so she does all the policy, and I'm just the color commentator.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. As a matter of fact, I wanted to thank you I always see you call out precinct chairs, so thank you. It's something that I've noticed that you call out your appreciation to precinct chairs and the county chairs and all the people who are kind of like on the ground making it all happen. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you. I've seen you quite a few times, but if you could start with just, who you are, what's your background, what are you running for?
Sure. So I am Maggie Ellis. I currently serve on the Third Court of Appeals, and the Third Court is in Central Texas. We serve 24 counties in Central Texas. So the area that I serve is the size of approximately West Virginia. And I know that because I put 40,000 miles on the truck, my husband and I, knocking on thousands of doors when I ran. I'm currently running for Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court. There are two justices that I have the honor of serving with, Justice Kelly and Justice Triana. And then along with the three of us, Judge Hawkins out of Houston, the four of us are running to flip 4 seats on the Texas Supreme Court.
Amazing.
Oh, important. So important.
Yeah. And for our audience who may not be well versed in everything, how many justices sit on the Texas Supreme Court?
There are 9 justices on the Texas Supreme Court and 9 on the Court of Criminal Appeals. So the court that I serve, the Third Court of Appeals, every county has district courts that hears their divorces, car accidents, murder cases, sexual assault cases, all the civil and criminal. And when those cases are appealed, they come to the intermediate appellate courts. And that's one of the courts that I serve on. There are 14 jurisdictional and 1 new statewide court. And we hear all of the appeals for 24 counties. And then if our cases are appealed, then the criminal cases go to the Court of Criminal Appeals. And then the civil cases go to the Texas Supreme Court.
All of the seats currently on the Supreme Court held by Republicans?
Yes.
Yeah.
There has not been a Democrat elected to any statewide office in 30 years in Texas.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I didn't realize that no seat, like there's no office for 30 years. That explains
wild.
a lot.
Yeah.
Even
on the Supreme Court.
Office.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
And 9 on the Supreme Court, on the 9 justices, 7 of them were appointed by Greg Abbott.
Appointed. Okay. Oh, that's right. This has only recently become a thing where we vote for Supreme Court justices.
So we vote for our Supreme Court judges, but what has happened historically, and certainly over the last many years, is the Republican will retire before the term is up, and then Greg Abbott gets to appoint the replacement before the election. So that person becomes the incumbent. And they largely go unchallenged in the election. And so that's how we come to have 7 who were appointed by the government. And then one of the other ones was appointed by Rick Perry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So 8 of them have been appointed by corrupt governors rather than elected by the people. That's awful.
But also explains a lot.
It explains a lot about why Texas is the way it is these days. Yeah, for sure. Well, we need to get you
I've got
elected.
my marching orders. Yeah, exactly. So, thank you for explaining a little bit about yourself and this office the seat you're trying to win. What made you wake up one day and say, I'm going to run for that seat?
For the Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court?
Yes.
Well, it's an easy answer. October 24th of last year, the Supreme Court issued orders that said it is not a violation of the Code of Judicial Conduct for a judge to refuse to perform a marriage based on a deeply held religious belief. It was a direct attack on the LGBT community. I am the first openly queer woman to ever serve as an appellate justice in the state. We have never had an LGBTQ plus elected official elected statewide in Texas. I felt like it was an attack on my community, but it also extended to other communities. Now remember, the authority to perform these marriages is given to the judges by statute. So I'm not talking about judges who go out and then they get, other type ordained or something like that. They are performing civil ceremonies. They have that authority by statute, and they can refuse to perform a marriage based on a purported deeply held religious belief, which means that a judge could refuse to perform a marriage for not only a gay couple, but an interracial couple, a Muslim couple, a Jewish couple, a couple of color, I find those orders to be very, very concerning. I think we're taking a huge step in the wrong direction, and it comes on the heels of other decisions that have been made by the governor and the legislature that are disenfranchising people in marginalized communities.
Well, that is a honorable
Yes.
reason to run for that.
Thank you for running for that seat. That is very important. Well done.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little more about your background? Because I've heard you mention first queer, and you would be the first woman for a Chief Justice seat here in Texas. But, what else makes you the right person for that particular role?
So, very quickly, and you probably have already heard this, Joey, but I grew up, very transient, and we were homeless for a lot when I was a child. I was in and out of school. I went to 8 different elementary schools in 3 different states before I was 10 years old. And then when I turned 10, my mom just stopped taking us to school altogether. When I was 11 and a half, we were living in our car in New Mexico, and I begged her to, and truth or consequences, New Mexico, and I begged her to put me back in school. And so she drove me home to Texas, left me at a gas station 2 miles from my father's house, and drove away. I didn't see her again for 11 years. And the only one of my 8 siblings who's ever attended university or graduated from college. I was a teacher and a foster mom. And then I went to law school so that I could advocate for kids and families who were like me and my siblings. So I've handled thousands of matters in the court and from all sides of the docket. I have reviewed or authored hundreds of opinions. I have led or directed the operations of large organizations. So I bring tremendous legal and organizational experience to the seat, but I also bring a lived understanding of what so many Texans who come before the court who have experienced. It is a voice that we do not have on the Supreme Court. And I think it's important given what's happening with funding for indigent defense.
Big time. I hadn't heard your story before. My gosh. Yes, we need you. We need you. Yeah, that lived experience for sure.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I commend you for surviving all of that. Those are my favorite kind of lawyers and judges with the lived experience, because there's a level of grace that is automatically instilled in you. It's like you could see possibilities for people who are coming in probably at the worst possible time in their life. And you go, okay, like right now it's bad, but I know that it can get better. I've seen it. I've done it.
People just want to be seen and understood, and so much. It's so important in court. I had the opportunity to work for several years in juvenile law, working with kids who the intersection of children whose parents had a CPS case. They had a juvenile case. The dual status kids. That's my greatest passion was working with those kids.
Yeah, you would know firsthand what they're experiencing, what they're going through.
We're going to get you in that seat.
We've got to.
We have to. Yeah. Oh, man. Thank you so much for sharing so much of your story. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's an exciting opportunity, I think, for Texas to try to elect so many women in leadership positions. I think it would really change the way anything about how Texas is done, right? If it would come from a woman's perspective.
Yeah. If I could never hear an old white man talk about a risky pregnancy as a hangnail ever again, that would be a blessing.
Yes. And, it's Texas we have some of the most restrictive laws regarding women's health. Women are dying. Women are dying unnecessarily in Texas. So, I can't talk about how I would rule or what my opinions are, and certainly you wouldn't want me to. Wouldn't want any judge to do that. But I think having an awareness of what is happening to 50% of Texans is very, very concerning. And I think any man who loves a woman should be concerned.
We agree.
Yeah, we agree.
I talk a lot when I'm out on the campaign trail about I'm very, very concerned about the erosion of our separation of powers. I'm concerned that our executive, legislative, and now our courts are all operating in lockstep as one branch. And so in addition to my concerns about indigent defense and representing so many marginalized Texans in Texas, my own community, but also being a voice for other communities. In addition to that, I truly believe we have got to have independence in our judiciary. We have got to restore confidence in our judiciary.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, when you look at the news now, like that's like the last front that's holding tight. Like I just saw like a whole bunch of justices or judges had I can't remember where they were, but they all like were marching in the streets and like,
Last week.
like we have a job to do. Like there's a reason why there's 3 branches and we have to make sure this stays secure and separate. And what the saving grace during all this tumultuous time has been judges. And like definitely not the federal Supreme Court, but it's just like Third Circuit. It's like all these different other judges that are helping us. So the more
defending the rule of law. Absolutely. Defending the rule of law. And they are getting death threats and conduct things filed against them. And it is so scary. Your judges should not be in the news.
Yeah.
And they're incredibly brave. The judges who are, and the thing that I like about the group, and I feel bad, I can't remember if it's Missouri, but they come from all over and they're doing these marches, but they are nonpartisan. They are absolutely saying what is happening across our country right now is wrong, and we have got to defend the rule of law. Our civil rights are eroding. Like I said, our separation of powers. It is a dark time.
It is. And it's a really good point that you've made, because I hadn't really made it in the sense that, like, obviously we're seeing the federal issues with the power breaking down and them all kind of in lockstep, like Jalon was saying. But the point that, like, here in Texas as well, if the governor has appointed 7 of the 9, or whatever it is, then there's no independence there either. He obviously already has that relationship. Yeah.
If you look at, so I want to say that the legislature acted first, and there was a constitutional amendment that was passed. There was a prohibiting DEI. I'm sorry, it might have been a bill that was passed, but prohibiting DEI initiatives at universities across Texas. Then the governor issued executive orders prohibiting any state agency from having any type of DEI initiatives.
Yeah.
And then in January of this year, the Texas Supreme Court, in lockstep, divorced the State Bar of Texas from the American Bar Association. That is our accrediting body. If you want to become a licensed lawyer, you have to pass the bar and you have to have graduated from an accredited law school and accredited by the ABA. And now it's accredited by the State Bar of Texas. And of course, the concern, given all of that, is if your law school has DEI initiatives, you will not be accredited by the State Bar. And that hasn't happened yet, but it looks, from all appearances, looks like that is where we are headed.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
I'll never understand. I'll never understand this pushback on DEI. I'll never understand it.
Right. Why?
Yeah.
It only helps. It's not hurting. It is only helping.
Yeah. I mean, we already had DEI beforehand. It's, nepotism. It's my dad went to this school, so you automatically get in this school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we already had this, and now it's saying, hey, the population of this country is so diverse, and you guys are pulling from this one pool because the name is on the building. But we need to get other people that are just as smart, just as qualified, an opportunity. It's not even a guaranteed position, just the opportunity to have that possible thing. And the pushback, just like critical race theory, how that became the hot button thing.
Right.
And it's just like,
Banana.
you read any history book and you'll see that we probably should have had some critical race theory along the way. And it was an elective too. It's not even forced. Like, you don't have to take that. It's an elective law class that you could take. And the way that they just ran with, I'll never understand.
It's our history. And to your point, I mean, just looking at Texas, how wonderfully diverse we are across all measures.
Mm-hmm.
And we should be celebrating and taking the best of all of us instead of inciting fear and pointing fingers and very much us and them. And we need to take our state back. The friendliness, the kindness, the neighborliness, the true of all of us. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, get it all.
No. Like, so I constantly am talking about the World Cup. Joey's over it. But
I'm not.
no, I know.
Bring
But
it
that's
more.
one of the things that you keep seeing. You see all these people from around the world. They're like, Americans are nice. And like, there's some people like, they wouldn't let us pay for anything. They're just like, no, here, eat this, try this. And like, you know, if they're just watching the news over in France or England, it's like, America's bad. And the news, you know, when you just look at 10% of what happens in America, yeah, it's bad. But when you come here and the first thing they're saying is, actually, we're having a lovely time and Americans are super nice. And I just wish that was our reputation, because it is our reputation, but that's not the thing that we're cultivating. And that just, you know, they're going to leave Sunday. The World Cup is over on Sunday. And then all of a sudden it's just going to be business as usual. And
America's the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wish we could bottle that up and be like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
Like when you extract and pull back a little bit, we all have the same things in common. We want to live a good life. We either want to be a part of or raise a great family. We want to have a house, good food that's not going to make us sick. And we don't want to think about politics all the time. And to your point, when politics works great, you don't know people's names. You don't know all the justices' names. Like when the government is working like it's supposed to, there's no reason why I should know who's running for Senate in Maine like I do. I should not know that.
Oh, there's like 8 of them right now. I saw a
Child.
whole thing about it this week. Insane.
No. Like
Yeah.
But you're
I
right.
wanted.
No, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And to that point, nobody outside of America should know a senator from Maine either. And it's news everywhere.
But all of these
everywhere.
decisions are life and death decisions now. You know, like
Yeah.
if we don't replace them, it is dangerous for so many Americans. I mean, it really is just like terrifying what's happening, and that it could get any worse is unbelievable. So we gotta win.
Yeah. You know how you see when people do all those dominoes and they have all the dominoes and then they hit the dominoes and it feels like so many of the things that are important to us are these dominoes that are falling and we have got to stop. Like we have got to step on that domino so none of them continue falling, because it really feels like, and it feels that rapid. It feels like every day some new terrible thing is happening.
Yeah. Yep. Every day.
Every day.
I'm tired.
Every
And
day.
I know you are too.
Yeah.
know you are too.
Just a few more months. And thank you all so much for I love getting my GLP
Yeah.
newsletter. So when I started running statewide, I subscribed to, the Houston Chronicle, the Dallas Morning News, and the San Antonio Express News, and Corpus Christi, just because I wanted to know what's happening, what's important to, because every county is different and and so, but I love your newsletter. So I can't remember when I subscribed to that, but I think it was back in December or January, but it's wonderful.
You.
It's so,
Thank you.
it's different. It's hard to explain, but it's so different. I mean, you pull in stories that not everyone else is reporting on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal. It's like there's so much going on that if you just kind of are a little bit listening to the news, or if you just watch the 30-minute news, the evening news every day, you're just getting a small sample of what's happening. And I pride myself in scouring, being like, okay, what are some of the blind or the underreported stories, just so that nothing is really swept underneath the rug, because so much is happening.
Well,
So,
everyone
yeah,
needs to know about it. It's wonderful.
I appreciate it. My
Thank
ego.
you.
My ego.
I can't watch the news anymore because it just causes way too much anxiety. But I can watch Jalon's daily news briefs because she delivers them in just a way that it makes it cozy.
I'm trying to add levity and some humor, because it's like when you zoom out, it's so silly. It's serious.
Serious
But
and
it's
dark, but
so silly when you like sit back and go, wait, why would they think we would fall for that?
Yeah, here we are.
Well, we're not falling for it.
Well, that's
Yeah. So I appreciate that. I'm gonna call my mom.
yes.
Honorable Maggie said.
Yeah.
My niece was writing a paper and she wanted to ask me some questions, and she said something about, what gives you hope? And I said, right now, is the people who are literally taking to the streets to fight for our state. just the sheer number of people who are either taking to the streets or they're saying, wait a second, I've been walking down this path for a long time and I'm feeling like this isn't the right path all of a sudden. I need to change the path. So it's hope. We're hopeful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how this podcast started. We were like, well, we're producers. What can we do to help? And we were like, oh, we could just start making content. I mean, that's what we do already. So why don't we do that for this? And now we do. And it's great.
I love that. I love that everyone is doing the thing that they can do. Whether it's knocking doors, texting, voting.
There's a job for everybody.
Yes. Yeah. Even if you can't do any of that, you can go to the polls and you can spend however long it takes to get all the way to the bottom.
All the way to the bottom. For sure.
Right. But we're going to have a voter's guide so you don't have to do that. So you just get in and vote and get out.
We're going to take you to the bottom on the whole list. Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Your Honor. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time out to chat with us and subscribing. That's my ego.
Thanks so
Thank you, Judge Ellis. We appreciate you so much.
What an amazing conversation we had with her. I'm going to be honest with you. I had to force myself to not cry a couple times. Her story. You hear about people that have traumatic childhoods and they kind of use as a crutch to be like, oh, I have this bad behavior because X, Y, and Z happened to me. But like you see somebody like Judge Ellis, it's like, because this happened to me, I wanted to make sure more good was put into the world. And I couldn't just hope somebody else would do it. I had to make sure I at least was one of the people that was putting good out into this world. I mean, a teacher, a foster parent, then went to law school, then became a judge. It's like
all the things.
And when she was talking about being a little girl being dropped off at a gas station 2 miles away from her dad's house, I want to be like, how old were you? How fast were you able to get? Like, I wanted to ask a million questions.
Yeah, same.
But I didn't want to like derail the conversation. Then we just start crying. But what a phenomenal woman. And I cannot wait to vote for her.
I also had to check my own preconceived notions. I felt while I was talking to her, I was like, oh, that's messed up that like in my head, I didn't have, I guess it just kind of like exemplified the way that we don't know from just seeing someone's name on something, seeing someone's picture on something. Like, my head projected nice white lady who's a judge. Like I didn't picture a hard background like that. So I felt it was really good to hear that. Cause it kind of shook me of like, oh yeah, I need to remember that everyone's got some story in there. And wow, that really, her story is, like you said, the right reason to be a public servant. She is doing it.
For sure. And doing it for the right reasons. Like, it's not for power at all. I want to make sure that there's somebody that understands real Americans, real Texans, and what they're going through and how that can affect them if we just throw them in jail or we just say, pay this fee or whatever. We need more people like that are on the bench for sure.
We need her to be the Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court. Super exciting to have her running for that seat.
Shocking. Never has ever been a woman as a Chief Justice. Shocking. Sarcasm. Okay.
All right. That's our show. Thanks for watching or listening.
If you would like to keep up with the news, we have a daily news brief where we talk about the biggest news stories of the day. Nothing too crazy, just enough to help you not look silly at the water cooler.
And if you want to know what you can do in your communities, how you can be an active participant in your local government, I put out a weekly newsletter called Organizers Corner.
And it's going to be ramping up. Whatever Joey has been doing, it's going to be ramping up because we've got, as soon as you blink, it's going to be like, this day, this has to happen. This day, this has to happen. So
91 days until early voting today.
Girl,
91 days.
Please subscribe so y'all can stay on top of that. We got you guys covered on the news and politics over here because I keep up with the news for you.
And I keep up with the policy for you.
And together we help you become smarter and more consistent voters. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.